Wow. Hi everyone. I'm still alive and I wanted to say thank you. Somehow I've gotten to around 150 subscribers. I've only made 3 videos, I think. But I wanted to say thank you. And if I get to 500 subscribers, I'm going to give away a Mother 32. It's a synth that I like a lot, but doesn't fit into my Euro rack, and I think would get much better use from someone else. So thank you, and please like, share, subscribe, and let's get into it. Okay. Qubit. They were so nice. I got a bloom. I bought a bloom, and I made a video on it. You should watch it if you haven't. It's a tutorial, complete tutorial on the bloom, and Qubit hosted it on their site. So I got in touch with them, and I said, you know, basically, if you have anything else, I would like to play with it and make a video. And they were cool enough. They sent me a Surface, and they also sent me a data bender. So I want to talk about the Surface first, and then I'll make another video later about the data bender. Surface is a very straightforward module. Turn this down a little bit. Very straightforward. It's a voice. It's a modeling voice. Right now what you're hearing is the first modeling voice on the module, and it is a, string voice. It sounds like 2HP plug. This is a modeling synth. This is the first model, and what you can see is every time a trig is being sent, and I am triggering this from the Qubit bloom, of course. Every time a trigger is sent, you see this light up, and I'm also sending voltage per octave to sequence melody. Anyway, all that's coming from the bloom, but we're gonna worry about this. Okay, right now, you can see the trigs. You can see this button choke. If I hit choke, it chokes the noise. It just cuts it off. And there is a choke in down here, so you could send a gate, so you wouldn't have to be clicking this. But it's cool that, just in terms of like performance, that they have this button. But generally, you'd probably send a gate into the choke, and you could cut that sound off. You could do something similar with decay, because decay has an in also that you could modulate. So send an LFO to decay, sort of cut it, change it. I do like that choke function. Okay, so let's just go through the noises. This one is plug. This one is bell. Very multitude of bell type noises coming out of them. I think the third one is electric piano number 1, which is pretty tight. This one is definitely my favorite. I think it's electric piano 2. The lights up here, they change color as you change the model, so they let you know what you're on. So I know I like green, and I also like yellow, which is the next one. And this is called bass or kick drum, I guess, but it's got such like a great bass noise, especially if you tune it up. You can get melody out of it, and I use this one a lot. It's like subdued. It's like a nice sort of like triangle wave, but it's got a little like anger to it. So let's go back down. So generally, I guess it's supposed to be used as a kick, but you can do whatever you want. It's your world. Okay, and the next model is snare. And that sounds like a snare. These knobs are pretty straightforward. There's strike, tone, decay. That's a model. Strike is sort of like attack, and and tone is what it sounds like. And decay is very straightforward. You know what that does. Okay, and the last model I think is prepared piano, which is psychotic. If you don't know what a prepared piano is, Google John Cage. John Cage was sort of a Dadaist experimental composer. Depending on how seriously you take him, you might think he's awesome, or you might think he is a scrub. So let's go back to one of these cool ones that I like. Alright, so that's pretty much all of that. What's here is you see you have this trig button. It's the same as like sort of choke, where you can like perform a trig if you want, but you know, whatever. You can also choke. But this button, voices, you can see it's blue. That means we have one voice. This thing can have 8 voices. So if I click it, now we have 2 voices. And you can kind of hear them overlaying on top of each other. That's 4 voices, doubles. So we have 4 voices. And you can see it sort of builds like a cloud, sort of like a reverby sound. And if I add one more, that's 8 voices. So it's the most sort of like cloudy, big sound. So you can get a lot of sounds out of this without really touching any external effects, but I do use this with external effects like chorus and distortion, reverb, and all that, so it sounds great. And I don't know if you remember, but before I was using, for modeling sounds, I was using what was it called? It was called a Beehive. It was a clone of Mutable Plats, and it was 8 HP. And since then, I've taken it out, and I've got the Surface in there, and it's sort of, that's what I'm using. I found that Plats was sort of annoying, but I am pretty glad that they sent me this. I'm enjoying it a lot. Okay, so that's pretty much everything there is to this on the Surface. That's a terrible joke. Okay, so let me do one more thing. If I hold voices and I click trig, we are now in what's called dark mode, and dark mode is just sort of like a more intense version of the normal voices, but you can really take it to like a sort of an extreme. Let me go back to like the string sound and see what like dark mode does. One voice. Dark mode. And to get out of dark mode, you do the same thing. You hold voices and you hit trig. So all these kind of voices, they have 2 personalities. One would be just like the normal settings, and then if you hold voices and click trig, you're in dark mode. And I guess this is the last thing. Let me get back to that noise. The electric piano. The last thing would be if you hold voices and you hit choke, you're basically, since this is a stereo output, you're choosing whether you want it to be a mono output, or you want to like split the voices, or you want to have either side kind of be randomized, and it won't work if you just have one voice on. You would have to have, 2 at least. But just so you know how that's done, you hold voices and you hit choke, just like you would hold voices and hit trig to go into dark mode. It's the same sort of function. It's pretty cool. Okay, and to get out of any of that, if you're like in some mode, just hit voices. Okay, so now that we've covered everything about how it works, let's do a real patch. And I have some drums. They're coming out of the Analog Rhythm Mark 1. It's my drum machine. Simple pattern. Okay, and as for the patch, I am running an LFO to the decay, and I'm modulating it just kind of so it comes in and out, just to shorten the note. Another thing you could do is you could send gate from whatever. In my case, I'd probably use a steppy, but you could send gate into the choke in to also do exactly what I'm doing here, but I wanted to play around with the LFO, so, and I'm using the bell sound for this, but I might change it, so just let's see what we got. Okay, another thing that's happening is the tone here is, there's another LFO that I'm running into the tone to switch it around. Add some chorus. I'm using this knob to affect the decay. So the higher up I have it, the more staccato notes I'll have. And the lower, the more open the decay will be. Kind of want it somewhere in the middle. Alright, let's try a different model. Yeah, this is why the green, because it's electric piano, is one of my favorites. It's just like very versatile. And I feel like the titles are a little bit arbitrary for the models, because this to me, you can call it electric piano, but it's just kind of like a sick sine wave, or like sine triangle, somewhere in between there. And like moving the tone up just makes it dirtier. But I am modulating the tone, so a little randomness. More chorus. Let's make it dry. Yeah, I mean, this thing sounds pretty good. I must say, I mean, when you first get this thing out of the box and you plug it in, you're like, okay, I understand. It's like a modeling synth with a few different models, and it seems, you know, maybe not so immediately impressive, but there's a reason why I replaced my Plats with this thing. Like, I have a Plats, it's in the box over there. I'm just thinking that this thing is just more immediately kind of conducive to making music. Plats, it's like a little divey. There's a lot of different choices on it, a lot of different clicking around, and it's like there's almost too many choices. I know it sounds kind of stupid, but you can be limited by the vast array of choice you have when it comes to sounds available. I enjoy the simplicity of this. I like how big the knobs are. I like how straightforward it is. It's not too divey, and it sounds great. Yeah. So, thank you, Cubit. Thank you so much. I'm not going to give it back. I'm going to keep this one, and look out for the next video. I'm going to merge the surface with the data bender. We're not running anything through the data bender right now, so that'll be an interesting video too. This thing is also amazing. So, yeah, I know this is turning to a Qubit fanboy channel, but I really appreciate you guys sending me stuff, and thank you. And thanks for watching this video. I'm going to try to make more videos. I know I said that at the beginning of 2020, and now it's the beginning of 2021, but please, if you like this, like and subscribe. I'm going to keep trying to make videos. And send me an email, you know, if you're interested in just music, synths, you want to send me anything, feel free. It'd be cool to just like get an idea of what people are interested in for the channel. So, thanks again. Fone.